Hey y'all, I'm Rev Mimi and I am here with another spiritual snack. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite people, David. So a lot of people recognize David from his relationship with Bathsheba. A lot of people recognize David from the battle with Goliath, and some may even remember David's story about how he was anointed even above all of his brothers who were more likely to fit the role of king. But today we're going to talk about just how much time passed from the moment that David was first anointed to be king and the moment that he actually stepped into that role and became king. Researchers say that David was anointed to be king somewhere between the ages of 8 and 15. And the Bible tells us that David didn't step into that role of king until he was 30 years old. So that leaves us with a span of about 15 years where David knew he was going to be king, but he wasn't king yet. And I wonder, what must it have felt like for David to have been anointed king in front of all of his older brothers and then to still have to go back and tend sheep? Like, what must that have felt like to know that you're called to greatness and still be stuck in a situation that doesn't allow you to live into the greatness that God showed you and told you that you are called to? The fact is, David, even in that season, even in that time period that passed, was still able to have an impact on those around him. But it wasn't until God's timing that he was able to fully live into what God promised would happen in his life. Understand, in this season, a lot of things are getting put on hold, and it sometimes feels like we're missing out on the greatness that we feel like we're supposed to be achieving and accomplishing in this season. But God wants me to remind you that there is an appointed time for everything, and that if God has placed a calling on your life, which I'm certain that he has, then that calling will be fulfilled. You just have to trust that this season too will have a purpose, and that on the other side of it, you'll be able to see how God used even the quiet season, even the season where you feel like you're on hold, to benefit you in the future. Even though it took about 15 years for David to actually step into his calling as king, it's during that period of 15 years that we see David overcome a lion and a bear. It's during that period of 15 years that we see David defeat Goliath. We see David grow and help and contribute to society and all of these things that he experiences, even in that period where he was on hold and he wasn't able to be the king that God called him to be. He was still able to accomplish great things. And I just think that's so important for us to remember, especially in this season where many of us might feel that we ourselves are on hold. So that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure that you join us every Sunday at 2:00 p.m. for our Zoom squad parties. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, anything that you want us to be discussing in our Zoom squad parties, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email at revmimi@kingdom.global. Stay poppin', everyone, and be blessed.